So let's talk about multiplication. We're going to have a bit of an introduction. We'll talk about some basic rules and how we can do quick calculations during the exam. So first of all, let's talk about what is multiplication. Multiplication is adding a number to itself. It's a shortcut of this. So let's say I have 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. How many times does 3 appear here? 4 times. So I can say that it's 4 times 3. So that's the meaning of the action. Let's talk about a few basic rules. So first, the replacement law. As we saw in addition, the order doesn't matter here. It doesn't matter that I say 2 times 3, right? 2 times the number 3, or 3 plus 3, which is 6. Or if I say 3 times the number 2, 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is also 6. Okay, the order here does not matter. Another thing that we saw in addition that we'll see also in multiplication, it's important, is the distributive property, right? That we can break down numbers. Let's say if I do 6 times 15, so it would be easier for me to do 6 times 10 plus 5, which equals 6 times 10 and 6 times 5, right? This is a parentheses. I can do this first plus this first, this last. So 6 times 10 plus 6 times 5. Okay, we'll see that a bit more later. Next is results, positive or negative results. So a plus times a plus and a minus times a minus will always give you a positive result. And if you have a minus times a plus, so if there's only one minus, it'll stay a negative result. So that's the rules. Let's talk about how we can calculate quickly. So there's a few tools that you can use. First of all, it's imperative to know your times tables by heart, because during the exam, it's time pressured and you won't want to try and be doing simple math. So we should know our times table by heart. Next tool is to multiply with tens or hundreds or thousands, anything that has a zero basically. I can do this way, 7 times 10. So I basically do here 7 times 1, which is 7, and then add a 0, right? A 10 has 1 0, so I'll add 1 0. Let's look at it when there's 2 zeros. Let's say I have 12 times 100 and 2 zeros here. Okay, so I'll do 12 times 1 times the number before the zeros, and then add the 0. So 12 times 1 is 12, and I'll add 2 zeros because here I also have 2 zeros. Okay, same thing with 2, 12 times 200. So, right, the same thing here with 2, 12 times 2 is 24, and then I'll just add the 2 zeros at the end. So 12 times 200 is 2400, or 2400. So that's that. Next thing is we talked about it a bit before, but now we're going to go more in depth about using the distributive property. Okay, something that we learned in addition, how we can use it to help our calculations here. Now, if I have 12 times 5, it's hard to think about 12 times the number 5, right? It's something that's more difficult. But with the distributive property, I can break it up. I can say that it's 5 times, right, because the order doesn't matter, 10 plus 2, right? Because 10 plus 2 is 12. I can say it's 5 times 10 plus 2. Okay? This will allow me to break it up into 5 times 10 plus 5 times 2. 5 times 10 is 50, plus 5 times 2 is 10. So 50 plus 10 is 60. Okay? It's a lot easier than manually doing all the work. Let's take another example, 12 times 17. Okay, so again, I can break it up. I can choose one number, only one number to break up. So let's say I do 17 times 10 plus 2. Again, this makes it a lot easier for me to do the calculation. 17 times 10, just like we saw before, is 17 times 1, plus I add the 0. So 17 times 10 equals 17 plus a 0, 170, plus 2 times 17. 2 times 17 is a lot easier to do, right? We can know that this is 34. So now I have 170 plus 34, making my end result 204. Okay, let's look at another example. 19 times 6. So again, I can do 6 times 10 plus 9, right? It makes it a lot easier. So 6 times 10, right, which is 60, plus 6 times 9, which is 54. Altogether, I have 100 plus 54 equals 154. Okay, so this is multiplication. It was a bit of an introduction and some few basic rules. in order to calculate quickly and accurately in your head during the exam.